There we go. Craig, you want to join, love? My live is weird and I can only have 2 guests instead of 3. I don't know why.
All right, so I'll talk a bit, then I'll let Donovan talk.
Yeah, sounds
So, okay, so no, Isaac, you were saying that biological essentialism is dead, right? Within the
in the context of like modern philosophy of biology.
I mean, I would say that the tendency for contemporary philosophers to misrepresent positions is very common. So I don't find that surprising. I see it very common in the history of philosophy that you actually realize that many of the so-called refutations for positions are actually something that the essentialists would not agree with. And therefore, when you read their literature, you actually see the nuance. So I don't really see that as a solid point. Like, I think essentialism, first of all, when you understand what essentialism really means, it would be a necessary fact of reality that things have essential properties. Because what essential properties means simply means that given that you have a definition for a term, how do you distinguish that specific term from other things means that there's something essential about that term that makes it different, right? So if you have the term dog,
I feel like that's a bit of a false dichotomy. The way we classify things isn't either A, we can't classify it, or B, it has an essential feature or an essence. There's a third option here. There's things such as homeostatic property clusters, which aren't essential characteristics, but it's a rough grouping of commonly found characteristics which we use to group and identify certain substances.
Again, that what you just said is very vague, and I would say that it actually doesn't really mean anything, because if you understand what essential means, it means if you concede that certain terms cannot be used for something else, to an extent you've accepted that there's something essential about that specific term because it cannot be used for something else. That means there's a fundamental aspect of that term that cannot be attributed to other objects. So I don't understand what homostatic is not really a coherent concept given my reference for essentialism.
Well, I think I'll give an example. So, like the biological.
So let's take the example
of sex.
No, I like to make it as simple as possible, because when we use biology, the problem is that we have to actually bring specific facts about the topic, and it conflates the issue. So, for example, like essential properties in math, that's very simple, right? If I say a triangle is essential.
Oh, in
like
maths,
for example,
yes.
math, like
triangles having 3 sides. Yeah,
very simple, right? Like triangle has 3 sides, right? That's an essential property.
Now,
the reason it's an essential property,
I will agree. In cases like that, we do have essential things. But when it comes to biology, essential, like just because essentialism exists in mathematics, that does not infer that essentialism exists in biology.
Okay, no, that's not the inference I'm trying to make. I'm trying to give examples, and if you actually grasp the abstract principle from the mathematical example, you'd be able to grasp how it applies to biology. Because
yes, but if you're using an argument from example, then this is a complete false equivocation. Mathematics and biology.
That's not what I did.
Well, then why are you bringing this example?
It's not an argument from it's not an argument from example. It's an argument from being able to abstract the principles, being able to derive the principle of essentialism. I'm not saying that example is some like a metaphysically given thing, right? So let me explain carefully. So
I'm not denying that essentialism doesn't exist in any shape or form in the world.
I never said that you are.
Then why are you bringing this up?
Okay, I just explained it to you. It's because it allows us to comprehend the abstract principle.
Yeah, I know what an essential property is.
I mean, you can say you do, but I don't think you do, because you don't understand it coherent. I wouldn't say that you have a coherent idea of what it is in the end.
Essential properties are those which are necessary for the identity of a substance. It cannot be what it is. It cannot be what it is without this.
Okay, obviously you can tell me the definition, but I don't think you actually form the concept coherently in your mind. You can say it to me, but you truly don't understand what it entails, and that is why you would decide. That would be where I would argue with you and show you how it actually applies to biology. That would be the argument.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead then. What is the
So
essential
okay, so
characteristic
for
of the
example,
human species?
we have a specific but when we say the term dog, we have a specific referent for dog that excludes certain things, which means that we have an essential. That means there must be an essential characteristic of a dog, because that is how we would be able to say that something is not a dog, because there's something fundamental about the term when we use dog that excludes other things.
I mean, once again, just because we have this grouping classification of dog, this doesn't necessarily mean that there is an essential property of said group. Like I said,
yes, it quite literally does.
No, because there are other classifications used, like homeostatic property clusters, which say that there is. Okay, can you let me finish, please? There is not a single specific trait that is essential to dogs, but there is a rough grouping of characteristics, which, while none of them are essential, that they genuinely point to it being a certain object.
Are you okay? Is there anything?
So, it would be certain characteristics of dogs. They have 4 legs. They belong in this certain genus. They've got a certain genetic composition.
Okay, is there anything that would disqualify you from being a dog?
Anything that would disqualify you from being a dog?
Yeah, or could anything be a dog? Could anything be a dog? Perfect. Do you know what that means? That means that there's something essential about the term dog that makes sure that some things cannot be a dog. There's some grouping, like perfectly said, there's a grouping of characteristics.
I'm sorry, this is random.
Essential.
Can you guys debate in my Discord? Because I feel like the chat doesn't understand biological essentialism, and I'd rather debate like general stuff with Donovan,
That's fair. I understand.
But both of you, just join my Discord in my bio and debate it in VC instead.
All right.
No, because sorry, not to interrupt or be mean or anything. You know how?
I completely understand.
Okay. Sorry. Love you both.
Okay. Thanks for having me anyway, Saanvi.
Yeah, of course. Bye. Love you, Craig.
All right. Me too. Bye.
Bye. Thing. Sorry, guys. I feel like that would have taken forever, and you guys would have not understood.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I wanted to talk about that
exactly.
too.
Hey,
that's why I didn't talk about it before.
Hello.
Hello.
I just have a quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had birth or given birth to a child?
No.
No? Okay. So do you know how absolutely painful and the absolutely just horrific things that doctors do to women when they go through the birthing process?
Yeah. Actually, the birthing position that's used in hospitals hasn't been shown to be the most scientifically effective position. You're technically supposed to give birth flipped around, but yeah.
Yeah. But like the cutting of the vagina for them to be able to get the baby out, mom's not being anesthetized properly, given proper pain medications, the husband stitch, all that thing do with pregnancy and giving birth, a lot of women don't want to go through. It's a very common thing. So abortion is there to give them that second option to not go through that absolutely painful experience for a child that they might not be able to take care of, pay for. It might have something absolutely wrong with it that would just make the quality of life not there for the child. And so I believe that the parent, the one who is conceiving that child, has the opportunity to make a decision, just like parents are able to make decisions for living child. So I feel like if a parent makes a decision for a child inside of their body, it's the same as a parent beating a child for, for them doing something wrong.
Well, they're not allowed to kill their children.
What about
So what's your point?
What about Child Protective Services? I was beaten as a child. I was almost killed. And Child
Okay.
Protective Services did nothing. They did
Yeah, me
absolutely
too,
nothing.
because I was told to lie to them though. But yeah, I realized that they
Mhm.
do nothing. They actually do very little. But what's your point here?
So,
I don't
so
see
why
how this
are
is
we
relevant.
why are we not looking out for the alive children that are in, cases where Child Protective Service isn't helping them? Why are you focusing more on unborn children that aren't anything to do with you more than the children who are already alive on this earth here today, going through
Mm-hmm.
abuse and tragedy? Why are you
Mhm.
focusing on women who are like making their own decision for their own bodies more than you're actually focusing on the kids here on planet Earth?
So this is just like a false dichotomy because we're allowed to be against both. I mean, there's not like you have to either be pro-life or you have to be pro already born children. You can be like, okay, I'm for protecting the rights of all children, and that begins in the womb.
So the women just sorry, I need to think about what I need to say, but when a woman comes up and says, I want to have an abortion because I can't afford this child and I don't want this child going into the foster care system because, as we all know, the foster care system isn't what it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
Where would that child go?
Adoption, private adoption,
Adoption.
which is where most newborns go. Most newborns do not go into foster care.
Well,
Majority of
what
people in
about
foster
all the
care,
other kids who were
okay,
put into that and then
okay,
never got adopted?
okay, one second. What do you want me to call you? Like Ro or Ruse? I don't
Rue.
know how to pronounce.
That would be
Rue?
okay.
Okay, so Rue. So for one, like you said, right, you're saying, well, where would these kids go? That's your first question. So I'm gonna answer that question, right? Like I said, they would go into private adoption as most newborns do. Majority of the children in foster care are kids that were born into their biological families, and then something happened with those families, right? Into which like maybe all their family members died or something tragic happened. To which they had to be placed in foster care. Newborns are typically placed in the private adoption system and then they are privately adopted, right? And that system is much better. And the parents, the outcomes tend to be very similar to that of like biological parents and like biological births, or you know what I mean, compared to foster care. And again, like Saanvi said, because you're going to bring up, well, what about the kids in foster care? Well, yes, what happens to them is terrible and the system should be different, right? But again, we can both support the lives of those children and the lives of the unborn, right? Because this is a discussion about abortion. So we're discussing the kids before they are born, right? It doesn't mean that we don't support the kids after they're born. It just means that this is specifically a discussion about the kids before they are born.
But what I'm saying is there's a I mean, I'm not saying you can't advocate for both because, like you said, you can. But the problem with the foster care system greatly outweighs the abortion system. It like greatly overweighs the abortion system because
Again, this would
abortion,
just depend on what you mean by outweigh because everybody agrees that
how does
foster care
me
children everybody agrees that they
having
have
abortion
rights and they
affect
have
you?
the right to
How does
life.
me killing
Hold
my
on.
own
I'll
baby
answer that.
affect your life? How
I'll
does it
answer
do that?
that. I'll answer that.
How does me
But
killing
to hold
Saanvi
on,
affect your
Donovan, let
life?
me answer. But yeah, like I was saying, nobody thinks that you can just go around killing foster care children. Most people don't think that, but a lot of people do think that you can kill the unborn. So this is why we're having this discussion. Now onto the how does it affect me thing. It doesn't have to affect me for me to care about it. Literally no crime in the world affects a person unless it's done directly to you. Does that mean we shouldn't care? No, we should absolutely care.
But like, so if I go and get an abortion, you're going to be like just mad at me because I decided to not have a crack baby or something? Like, does it like what
A
does that?
crack baby? Do you do crack?
No, but what if I
I
was
mean,
put into that
I wouldn't
position? What if I was
necessarily
sex
like
trafficked
you.
and I was impregnated with someone's crack baby? And then I said, I want to have an abortion because I was put into this position where I was forced to have this child with someone I didn't want to have a child with.
Mm-hmm.
What
Well,
would
Rue,
you do? Would you be
what do you
mad
mean?
at me?
Rue, would you be mad at me if I killed Saanvi right now?
I mean, I don't know her and I don't know you,
Probably
so I
not.
really
Okay,
Yeah,
can't
would
wait,
you
wait, wait,
be? Would you be
Rue.
mad
Do
if
you think
Donovan
it's
killed your mother?
no,
Yeah,
Rue?
I wouldn't care either because
No.
I don't like my mom.
Rue, do you think it's wrong for me to kill
See?
Saanvi right now?
Why are you bringing alive people into
Wait,
a
see,
debation
Rue,
about people who are
see.
inside?
Oh, wait, Rue, wait, hold on, because I'm testing your principle. Because your principle was that it doesn't matter because it does not affect us, right? right? In that you're saying, well, oh, are you going to get mad at me? And I'm like, no, I'm not necessarily going to get mad at you. But you just said you wouldn't get mad at me if I killed Saanvi, but you admit it's wrong, right? So our judgment
Yes,
about
killing is
whether an
wrong,
action
but
is
when the
wrong or not.
person's outside of a body, like I don't think you guys understand. I heard an argument earlier that said when you're pregnant, all you do is you just let the baby grow inside of you, and that's it, and then you just give birth. That's completely wrong. It's basically I'm not gonna say it's a parasite because a baby is not a parasite, but when you medically look at it, like speaking terms, baby takes all of your nutrients from you. You feed it through your body. So if I were to go, say, get rid of a parasite inside of my body that was feeding off of my body, inside a living organism inside my body, a parasite, it's a real living thing. It has its own little body, and I go and kill it because it's a parasite inside of my stomach eating all my food. What's the difference between that and having abortion?
A parasite doesn't have rights.
Yeah, and what rights do a baby have? Until they're 18, they're under the parents' influence.
Wait,
And
no,
you
no, we're
still
not talking
have the
about
right
legal
to
rights.
life, ages 0 through 17. So
Yeah,
what's your
don't you
point?
do you think a child
When
has
does
a
zero
right to
start?
life?
When does the age 0 start? When the baby's outside of the
Well,
womb?
currently we
Conception.
have it at birth, but you have rights at conception.
Conception. Okay. So it starts at conception. Life starts at conception, right?
I mean, that's a fact. Yes, we're saying
Yes.
that they also gain rights at conception, which is a more opinionated thing.
So as soon as that sperm's up in my badusi, that thing has rights.
Well, when it fertilizes an egg, yeah. That's
There. So what if my fertilized egg decided to abort itself?
not implant, so be it.
Well,
What's your
aborting,
point?
yeah, aborting itself, that's not really a thing based off of like what
It's
an
not
actual
aborting
abortion
itself,
is.
yeah.
That's not a
It's
thing.
no.
It cannot abort itself.
50%.
No.
What you're trying to refer to is that 50% of fertilized eggs don't end up implanting. That's what you're trying to refer to, but that's not something that's induced.
So if someone pushes me down the stairs and I have an abortion due to that because I lost my baby, that's not induced?
Well,
That's
they
not your
would
fault.
push you down
That
the
is not
stairs. So
your
how's that your
fault.
fault?
And that's not an abortion. That would be a
Because it's in my
miscarriage.
baby. It's in my body. I should have been taking care of the baby
Well,
inside my
first of all,
body.
that would have been the person that pushed you's fault, if anything,
Yeah,
not your fault.
Again, you getting an abortion
so is
is
there
you
any,
being
so do you guys hold any consequences towards the men that impregnate women who don't want
yes.
babies? So what do you think you should do for that? Like,
Child
what are you going to
support
do?
from the moment of conception.
And how many people actually pay child support?
I mean, what do
It
you
doesn't
mean?
matter because what we believe isn't the current system. We're saying
So
what
the
ought
mother
to
is
be.
going to be struggling while the father isn't paying child support. So there's the mother and the child struggling.
Okay, wait. What we just said that men should have to pay child support, and now you're saying,
And
oh, so they
most
won't
of
pay
them
child
don't.
support.
Okay,
Okay,
if they
again.
don't, then I think they should go to jail. Like, what's your point?
But they don't. You can't be
Okay,
trying
we're
to
not talking
end
about the
And
something
we
current
are
and then
system.
not
we are
give
Jesus
it
Christ,
against
you're so
we're
dense.
against the current
Rude.
we're against the current establishment. Absolutely we are.
Okay. And what are you
Yeah.
doing
we
to
are.
fix it? What are you doing
Yes,
to fix it?
we're talking about
I
what
can
should
speak.
happen, not what is happening. There's a very fine line between what we think should happen and what is currently happening. In the current society, yes, a lot of men don't have to pay child, or they don't end up paying child support. And again, abortion is illegal still. These are all things that we want to change. So to try to like contest our position by talking about the current system is just undermining like our entire position in the first place.
Can I ask one question from the both of you?
Yeah.
What are you both doing today, like
Lord.
proactively, to help
can answer.
change the system to make it so where if abortion is illegal, where there won't be illegal abortions happening that kill women, there will be provided substance, health insurance, payment for like food.
That's actually
provided
part of my job. That's part of what I
Okay.
do. So I work for a crisis center specifically. I'll let Donovan answer this after me, but I work for a crisis center specifically, and what we do is help mothers that chose life and are struggling with things like health insurance, maybe a child with a disability, accessible birth control during pregnancy as well. So yeah, I do a multitude, of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Donovan, do you do anything?
Do I do anything? I mean, I'm also part of similar organizations to Saanvi that would do similar things in regards to like helping women during pregnancies, and also just the generality of conveying the pro-life message would be majority of it, because our goal is to legalize abortion and to convince people that abortion is immoral. So,
Do you have a uterus?
Yes.
no, I don't.
Oh,
I would understand you would, but do you understand how a period is painful to women?
I can understand, or I can't comprehend it necessarily, but yeah, I understand that it is.
So why are you speaking out about abortion when you as a man have never felt the pain of pregnancy, a period, God, a ovarian cyst even? Why is a man speaking out
Um,
about a woman's body?
You know why? Because I'm not speaking out about a woman's body, because we have a third person involved. I'm not talking about a woman's body alone. I'm talking about a
So the
situation
woman's
that has
just
a third.
Also,
put her out.
Wait, Rue, no, Saanvi, let me address this because
oh,
like
go ahead.
this
Sorry.
is so dumb. Okay, so yes, a woman is involved, right? But there is a third person involved, and it is another person involved, and it is the fetus, right? So when we have ethical discussions about things, and there is another person involved, right? Then yes, we can all make judgments. To say that I can't make a judgment on the ethicality of abortion based on my own sex is ridiculous, right? You should actually address what I'm saying, the logic that I use, right? Instead of
Because
my
it's a
sex, because my
woman's
sex is
body.
irrelevant.
The baby's inside my body. It's inside my
Rue,
body,
oh
affecting my
really?
day-to-day
I didn't
life.
know that, Rue. That's actually very insightful. But can I ask you a question? If me and Saanvi make the exact same argument, what's different between her making the argument and me making the argument? What is the relevant
Because
distinction
she
between either of us making
knows,
the argument?
she knows as a woman, not saying that she knows pregnancy, but she knows as a woman what it's like to live with a uterus day-to-day life. And
So
not saying
what?
that living with a uterus is a crazy thing because you men also have penis. It's not like a crazy thing. But
Mm-hmm.
women go through a lot more. We have to pay for feminine products. We have to go through the societal thing of periods being bad and
And how
uterus
does
and
that have any
I'm
substance
bringing it
when it
back
comes?
to that. Slow
Okay,
down.
please,
So as a
please.
woman, me sitting here and saying, I don't want men speaking behalf on my body,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't go around saying men should get their balls snipped because I don't want a bunch of men raping
Are
random
my
women. I
balls a
can go
third
around and
person?
say shit about what to do with your body. I don't say anything about what men should do
Are
with their bodies
are
because
my
that's your
balls
body.
are my balls another moral agent?
Yes, because your balls contain
No, they are
sperm, which
not.
fertilize egg.
Okay,
What the fuck?
You're
wait.
right. Sperm is
I'll
not
speak
sperm
on
is not a
this because
moral
I
agent
think
at all.
if you want to hear from a woman, I'd be happy to address it. But to say that you can't speak on something just because of your genitalia, especially when this is a ethical discussion, it's just ridiculous, right? Like, if I was an infertile woman right now, you would never know, but you would still let me
And I
speak on
wouldn't
this.
break
Like,
down about that, but
it's
you know what a period
it's just
feels
so
like.
inconsistent.
You know what a
It's just
period
so
feels like.
so I don't
He
need to like
doesn't.
know the so just because I feel
Wait,
pain
does
5 days
knowing
a
what a
month
period feel like even
doesn't
equate
make
to
my
pregnancy?
opinion more valid than his. It doesn't make his opinion more valid than mine.
You guys are so contradictory. Like, how can a
No, how
man
did we
sit here and
contradict
tell me
ourselves?
what
What are
to
you
do with
saying?
my body when the man
Rue,
has
what's a
no idea how my
contradiction?
body works? When a
Rue,
man
what is a
when a man
contradiction?
doesn't understand like what women go through pregnancy, you can sit there and learn from other women, yes, but you
Wait, and
yourself as a
wait,
man
have you been
will
pregnant?
not know. Have I been pregnant? Yes, I have been pregnant, and I have
Okay,
aborted because I
okay,
was
Rue,
15.
Rue, before you were pregnant, would you still have a more valid opinion than me?
Yes, because I still have
Wait,
periods and I
but you
still
hadn't
have a
but you
uterus.
hadn't experienced pregnancy. But you hadn't experienced the pain or what it's like to be pregnant. So how could you
I
know what it's like to be
actually
pregnant?
experienced something more painful than a pregnancy called a ovarian cyst that was bigger than a tangerine that exploded
Oh,
And
you
inside of
had
my
does
body.
cystic
that mean you
ovaries?
Yes, and those are classified more painful than a pregnancy.
that is completely irrelevant
Same. It
because
actually depends person to person, but yeah.
it does
Person to
not mean,
person, yes.
again, the point is, if you are based off your own logic, if you have not been pregnant yet, you do not know what it's like to be pregnant. Even if you have periods and ovarian cysts, that does not mean you know what it's like to be pregnant because you have not yet been pregnant, correct?
Okay.
So if a woman has not been pregnant yet, then by your own logic, she has just as an invalid of opinion as I do. Her
No,
having a
because she
period
still has
does not
experienced
equate
the pain
does
of
not equate
periods.
to her
She
getting
has had
pregnant.
her uterine lining ripped out of her uterus and crushed out. Her uterus crushes out the uterine lining. That's not blood. It's literal skin from inside of your body. It crushes it out and it pushes it out your vagina. And then we're forced to put
This is
cotton
irrelevant.
inside of our vagina. So yes, women do have more experience when talking about our own bodies because we experience things throughout our body. If I was to go start saying things about men, saying I knew what it felt like to get kicked in the balls, and I know what it feels like to get a vasectomy, I
You
couldn't
don't
say
have
that
to.
because I
Wait,
don't have
Rue, you don't
balls.
have to. Rue, you don't have to know what it's like to get kicked in the balls to be able to say that being kicked in the balls is wrong or painful,
But
right? Exactly.
the
And you can
thing
still
is,
make that judgment, even
I
though you've
can't
never
sit here and
experienced it.
say that men should go get a vasectomy because they're the ones who impregnate women and they're the ones who are making
You
this whole abortion thing wrong. I could bring up that card and play that card that way, but I don't
Okay, do
because
it.
I can't go and speak behalf on other people's bodies. I sit there and I think consciously, why would I tell another person what to do legally and illegally with their bodies? As you know, if it's legal or illegal or not, it still happens. Weed is illegal, and I literally just took a fat ass bong rip on this live. No one's gonna fucking stop just because you guys make a law about it. People
Hey,
still
Rue.
Well,
speed.
weed should be
People still
legal,
run the
so
red light.
do as you
So
please, but
do as
Rue,
I
can I
please. Everyone's
wait,
gonna do it.
Rue,
but
I
Everyone's
want to ask
going
you a
to do it.
question.
I
You guys are
personally
stuck in the
fully
past.
support. Hold on,
You're
I personally, Rue, fully support not only the decriminalization of marijuana and crack cocaine, but the legalization. But you know why? Is because those things, when you do them, aren't directly killing another person.
Neither is abortion. It's not killing anyone. It's a fucking unalive person. It's not
It's an
out into
unalive
the
person.
world yet. It's not
it-
out of your body. It's
Rue, is
not.
it actively developing?
I was a C-section baby.
Same.
Was I really born or was I taken out of a body? Like you guys like look at
Wait,
so fucking
no, wait, I
weird.
was a C-section
What?
baby too. But
So it's like, was I really born?
okay,
Was
the
I?
point, Rue, what's your point
Why does
here?
that
Because
matter?
you just said
It's
that
just
a
that's
fetus.
like the shit you guys say. Like that's like the shit you
No,
old
it
people
isn't.
say.
That's
Like
what you
you
say.
sound so
That's the
stupid
shit
with
you
your
say, Rue.
abortion
We haven't
argument.
said
That's
anything
like
like
you
that.
guys sound so fucking stupid
No,
sometimes.
Rue,
Just stop
Rue,
talking
you
about
are
other
saying dumb
people's
shit and then
bodies for
saying that
one
we said
fucking
it.
second
Bro,
and
she's one of
actually
those
go
people
worry
that
about
smokes
real
weed and gets
problems.
hella hype. Just chill a little bit.
I'm hella hype because I don't like
We know you
people
are.
being
Smoke
out of other
sativa
people's.
next time. But
And
the
a lot
point,
of people in the comment section really like me, so thank you. I'm getting a lot of W's, it seems.
Yeah, Rue, public
Because
opinion
people like
tends.
other people who don't go in their fucking business. It's
Really?
learn your own
Rue,
damn business. That's all it's
Rue,
about.
do you
If you
think
want
it?
to start making laws, you better start getting ready for the criticism about how shitty people you are. Because
Oh,
that's
I'm
what
ready
people
for
are.
it. I'll
I
take
feel
all
like
the
the
No,
criticism
comments
in the
just
world,
eat
Rue.
this up.
look
I
at me
hate
over
that.
here getting goes and W's. Go like literally. This is what I've been waiting for, to get on one of these lives and just shit on you guys because that's what you deserve. If
Rue,
you want to sit
Yeah.
here and fucking go off about abortion, be
I
ready
think
to
you're
be
the one going
out.
off, Rue. You've been
Rue,
speaking for
Rue,
5 minutes
I am
straight.
going off.
personally, Rue, I'm
Thank you.
just here to
I gotta
have
go to
a.
work anyway, so good debate,
Okay.
y'all. Have a good night.
All right. Have a good day.
I disagree. That was a terrible debate.
No, I just tried to be nice. Like, damn. Okay. I'll have somebody else on. She's going to work high. I guess so. I'm crying.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
good. Yeah, so I'm on her side with pro-choice. I just don't think she was making enough good points. But I love her. Yes, Rue, if you're still watching, go ahead, girl. But starting off, you guys are judgmental as fuck just because I'm saying that. Because the fact she said she took a bong rip and then that's what you guys went and attacked her for.
Wait,
like, oh,
We
she's
never
one of
attacked her for
Tiffany,
that.
did you
That is not
hear me
true.
say that I think that weed should be not only fucking decriminalized,
No,
but
that's
fully
not,
legal?
that's not,
When
that's
did we
not what I
attack her for
said.
that? No,
Well,
when
let
did
Okay,
me
we
finish
attack
and I'll
so
after
let you
that?
know.
Tiffany, I'm
Donovan,
sure you
calm
don't
down.
know me. You don't know my political beliefs. I'm pro weed, quite
Okay,
literally.
that's
So
No,
not at all what
Tiffany,
I
I'm
said.
calm.
Before you
You're
continue
lying
and cut
though.
me
yeah.
off, because now I'm getting frustrated. I just got on here and didn't even get
I
to
know you're
finish
getting
my first
Well,
frustrated
because
because
you're
sentence.
you're
gonna make
lying.
statements that aren't true because you don't know my beliefs, and I'm literally
I'm
pro
not talking
marijuana.
about beliefs, you guys. If you give
We
me a
don't
second to
tolerate
finish my
lying,
sentence, I will
Tiffany.
let you finish going on about what you're saying. I said
Go
you
ahead.
talked about her hitting a bong rip and then automatically called her one of those people that
What?
Who?
hit
When?
Who did
hit the
that?
bong. You
That never
literally just
happened.
said, and I've been watching this for 25 minutes. So
Watch
you
it. What
just
did I
said,
say?
let me finish. You said that she is one of those people that get hyped because she took a bong rip. And that didn't even have anything to
Bro,
do with the
listen to what I said. I
conversation
said she's
or
one of
anything.
those people that gets high and gets
Hype.
hyper instead of calm. What's wrong with that?
Well,
Yeah,
that had
how was
nothing
it
to do with her
attacking her?
conversation. That's what I'm saying. You guys
Oh,
started talking
clearly
about
it
something
did because
different
she yelled
to
at
call
the
her
end.
crazy. Yeah,
Clearly it
because you
did have
guys are.
something to do with the
Anyways, back
conversation.
on the topic of
No,
pro-life and
Tiffany,
pro-choice.
clearly
No,
you agree
don't
with
do
me
this.
too
What are you
because
talking about?
no, because you
Here we
just
go.
said that this girl did not present the ideas in a way in which you would have liked. So
I
clearly
said
you
she
agree
could have
to some
made a
extent.
couple extra points. Yeah, she
Now,
could have made a couple extra points.
okay, Tiffany, she sat there and yelled at the end, and I think from an objective perspective, not even pro-life and pro-choice, I think that was unacceptable. But that's your prerogative to believe that. But that wasn't judgmental. I'm
Okay,
pro
can we get
weed.
back on the subject?
Hold on, wait. No,
You're the
I'm
one
gonna
that
finish
brought
that.
it off topic. What do you
I'm
mean?
pro
Can we get back on
marijuana.
topic?
I think that the state should literally butt out of everything. But anyways, go ahead.
Except for abortion.
Oh yeah, because it kills
Okay.
another person.
Yeah, we
Okay,
don't
but
think
that,
people
I
should be allowed
mean,
to
it
kill other
kills
people.
a child who has a circumstance. The mother has a circumstance and a job to herself to decide what she wants to do with her body. I mean, I understand that it's not your body, so it's really not your choice what I do with my body. So it really shouldn't be a conversation. And I've seen like 3 or 4 lives on just this conversation in general, and I think that it's retarded that anybody should have to sit here and have this conversation.
You're gonna get
when
dragged
it has
for
nothing
saying
to do.
that. Anyways, continue. I'll let
Tiffany.
you continue.
I
But
really don't care.
I have one question
But
real quick.
okay.
Do you
Okay.
believe in murder laws?
Can you elaborate?
Y'all cool with the R slur?
Okay, do you believe that it should be illegal for me to go kill Saanvi right now?
A zombie?
Saanvi.
Oh, a zombie. Sorry, I couldn't understand you. I mean, if you do what you do, it's up to you. I mean, murdering a live person that's been alive for, I don't know how old you are, a couple years, like 20 something, maybe 19 years. I don't know. You look young. So if you kill somebody that's out here doing whatever they're doing and she wasn't bothering you, yeah, that's wrong. She wasn't
Okay,
bothering you.
what if she was what if she like bumped into me? Then do I have the right to kill her?
Because she bumped into you?
Yeah, that affected me.
And what point does that make to the baby? I'm just trying to clarify your point here.
Okay, no, because my point is that you said but we should butt out of other people's business. We should not have anything to say on what other people do with their bodies. So to say that it should be illegal for me to kill Saanvi is telling me what to do or what I can't do with my body. Oh,
I
she
can't
get
have
kicked?
her on. She said the slur. I don't want to platform
Oh.
that. Okay.
Yeah, we don't tolerate slurs, Tiffany.
Yeah, I just don't want to platform that. Hey.
So
are you
Happened.
pro-choice or pro-life?
Oh no, I'm pro-life.
Oh, okay.
No, I was gonna debate with somebody else, but then she got
Okay,
kicked,
well,
so.
I'll have you back on if you stay on.
Yeah, you got
And
you.
I got you. All right, see ya. How do I?
Mandatory vasectomy.
No, I didn't want to kick her, but there's a lot of comments asking me to kick her, and I saw a comment that said I'm autistic and uncomfortable, so I'm gonna just remove her.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
So I'm pro-choice for many reasons, actually. But first, I want to just ask you what your thoughts are when people are raped or when they have eating disorders and they wouldn't be able to healthily give birth to a child, or when they know they won't be able to provide for the child and they know that they couldn't mentally handle an adoption. I just wanted to know your thoughts on those.
Yeah, there's a few things you mentioned, like medically necessary abortions, which Donovan and I both support. but not for the other cases that you mentioned.
Okay. Well, I just think even if you don't support it, I feel like no one really has the right to tell other people what to do with their bodies. And I feel everyone knows that a baby's birth starts at 0 years old. That's like not 9 months when they're born. And I feel like that's pretty common logic. So I just don't really understand how, when it's this argument, suddenly a baby is like alive. Because I know personally I wouldn't have minded if I was aborted because I wouldn't have been aware. Like I really wouldn't, it would not
Here's
matter.
the thing.
Oh, that's
You could kill
dangerous.
me right now and I wouldn't know per se. I mean, unless we're talking about an afterlife. Like, how would I know?
Yeah, of course. But I'm just saying,
but
like,
it's like,
I
so
had no
I don't really know about
cognitive
that
like
argument.
function before there. Like, you can't even have a baby live without the mother. It's not viable until 27 weeks. So how are you going to say before? Obviously, a late term abortion at that point is ridiculous, and you can't even really argue that. But when it is an early term abortion, I'm just not really understanding how, when a baby isn't even viable to live without the mother, you can say that the baby has more rights than the mother.
Well, I'm not
It
saying
does
the
not have
baby
more rights
has
than the
more
mother.
rights than the mother. The mother and the baby both have an equal right to not be killed.
There's no extra rights that the fetus has. They both have the
there's
same
no
rights.
extra rights.
Well, in fact, the mother would
But
technically
I
have more
don't think
rights.
you realize that if you make a woman go through a pregnancy that she did not want and then give birth to a baby she did not want, and even if she didn't want that baby, if you make her go through an adoption, that could be ending the mother's life, just in a different way. And she deserves to live a happy life.
Can you give me an example of what way you're referring?
Oh, she got kicked off.
Okay, well, that was probably just her leaving then, because...
No, I don't think she left. I think it probably just booted her. I don't
No, but
see why
then
she
it would have kicked you too.
Well, let's give it a second to see.
Let me see if she
I wanted to
re-requests.
ask her something.
Wait, let me see if she re-requests. If not, I'll have somebody on and then she can
Wait, what was the last thing she said? I forgot.
Hello? Donovan,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. She did not get kicked off.
Daniela, can you hear me? Damn, maybe it's just glitching then, I guess. Oh, she re-requested. Let me let her in.
Okay, I want to talk about what she said, because she said if the mother didn't want it, why can't she get an abortion?
Wait, where's the disconnect? Okay, this is.
She hasn't kicked a single person. These people just get like lagged out.
I know. I'm gonna start putting my hands on camera so people can't say that I kick other people.
Yeah, no. Even if you keep your hands like in the air the whole time, she's not gonna kick me. By the way.
Hi, I don't know. It disconnected me.
You're fine.
Okay, wait. So the last thing you said, right, was that because the mother doesn't want it, right? It's an unwanted pregnancy, and she doesn't want to keep it. Therefore, she should be able to get rid of it.
Yeah.
What if she did initially want it?
If she did want it in the first place, and it was like intentional.
She intentionally got pregnant, like for whatever way, like possible. She got pregnant. She wanted a baby, and then she changed her mind.
Well, I feel like there's lots of different cases where that could happen, and it's actually still like completely logical to have an abortion. I feel like there's lots of situations where people are groomed or they're manipulated or they're love bombed and they have a baby, and sometimes a baby could even tie someone to an extremely abusive person and their family.
Let's keep the context clear, right? So let's say a woman and a man happily married, both, no grooming, no manipulation going on. The mother's the one that really wants to get pregnant, so she gets pregnant. Do you think it is still justified for her to get an abortion?
Well, I feel like she wouldn't get an abortion, and that doesn't really make sense.
What if she changes her mind?
Like clear.
Can't somebody change their mind after they get pregnant? Or do you think that they can't? Do you think if they intentionally get pregnant, then
someone can change their mind, of course. Like I said before, even if I wouldn't do it personally, I think that everyone can do what they want with their body. People say that about vaccinations. I feel like that should be the same logic for abortions. Like everyone's body, their choice. That's it.
Okay, so I would just ask those questions because you started off by saying like, oh, unwanted pregnancies when that's
Yeah,
not
unwanted
necessarily the
pregnancies.
case.
I'm talking about teenagers. I'm talking about rape cases. I'm talking about people that are doing sex work on the streets, like people that cannot handle a pregnancy.
But you just said, but that doesn't even matter because you also just said that people who did want a pregnancy still can get abortions.
Yeah, because I'm pro-choice. You can do whatever you want with your body.
Okay, so you can do
Okay,
whatever
so
you
I
want with
guess
your
what his
body.
point is that you don't have to bring up those circumstances if you support it in all circumstances. Now, to get your bodily autonomy principle, why does your bodily autonomy extend to killing another person?
I don't think it's killing a person. I think it's a medical procedure to end the progression into the stages of life. You're not
So
already
if a
alive
fetus
when
is
you're
not, if
early
a fetus is
Let her
pregnancy.
not a
finish. Let her
person,
finish. Let
when
her
does
finish.
personhood begin?
Your life begins at birth. As soon as you're born, you're
Wait.
alive.
Okay, what's life? What do you mean when
What
you
is,
say life?
yeah.
Life is a viable human being being out in the world, having a cognitive function. That's your
Well,
Okay,
life.
if you look up
wait.
the
They consider
biological
brain dead
definition of,
because you literally cannot have any type of thought, any type of anything until your brain is functioning. And
Mhm.
after it isn't, then you don't have it anymore either.
What about a
well, like
newborn
I said,
born
the
into
way
a
that we
coma?
define brain dead people, when you're brain dead, unfortunately, you do never gain brain activity in the future. On the contrary, a fetus does gain brain activity in the future. So if we could regain brain activity, it'd be similar to consciousness, where you can go in and out of consciousness. But to make it analogous to a fetus in pregnancy, you'd have to say that this brain dead person would regain it.
It could. There's been cases where
No,
people come back from
no,
brain dead.
no.
Yes, there has been.
You can't.
If you are
Once
dead,
you're brain dead, you do not regain cognitive function.
by the way we are defining brain dead, you cannot be brain dead and regain brain function because
Yeah,
to be dead
that's just a
means
fact. You
to
can look this
means
up.
for the capacity means for the capacity of your like brain activity to be completely gone. So for your rational faculty, your conscious faculty to be completely
Donovan,
eliminated.
you need to calm down. You're so defensive when you talk. Like, chill out a
How
bit.
defensive? I wasn't even being defensive.
You talk like this. You talk mad fast. Like,
I was on
relax.
the offensive. I'm not.
No, you need to chill out because I don't let men talk to me like that.
I'm very
Anyways,
chill.
Okay,
I'm just
so can I talk to you like
my
that
natural
then?
way of speaking.
yeah, you can go ahead and try to talk to me like
Okay.
that, Saanvi.
All right, bet. So now looking at why the way that we define brain death, I don't know where in the world you got the fact that like a brain dead person can regain cognitive activity. That's not true. You're conflating brain dead with the coma.
First
You
of
can come
all,
out of
this isn't
coma.
even the main point because when you are
Now
not
you're
No, I'm
born,
shifting.
debunking
when you
you
are
on
in the
basic
womb,
biology. You
your
don't need to be
brain is
having the abortion conversation if you're going to
function.
talk about
You
brain
don't have
activity and not
cognitive
even know the way
function
it
when you are
works.
in the womb. You don't
Again,
have cognitive
again,
function when you
Saints.
are in the womb.
Saints, I'm just talking to you right now about basic like biology. Because if you want to say you want to talk about medical procedure, but you don't even know how brain death works, a brain dead person will not
You're
regain
like
cognitive
heavy
function.
leeching on the brain dead because I've literally made several points and you're just
Okay,
trying to
so
latch
Saints,
onto the one thing that's not
Saints, you're
even
being
agree
directly
with
defensive.
me?
related to
Chill
abortion.
out.
Okay, Donovan, just don't speak because she'll just go off. Do
Well,
you
she
agree
needs to
with the
stop being so
brain dead
defensive.
part
The brain
of
dead
what I'm
part?
saying? Yes. Do you
I feel
believe?
like I literally just thought brain dead was a different thing than it was because I thought brain dead was like when your brain waves weren't functioning to the highest, like the cognitive point. Like
Yeah,
when you
brain dead is
can't,
when you
you're not
don't have
coherent,
cognitive
you're in
function.
a, sorry?
Brain dead is when you don't have cognitive function. That's brain death. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was more of when you were in the comatose state, but then I realized brain
No,
dead would
you
have to
can
have
be
zero brain
comatose and
wave.
have brain activity. Absolutely.
How am I a narcissist? Sorry, these comments are so random. But no, okay, that makes more sense. But anyways, when you are in the womb, there is still no brain activity. Like there will be a heartbeat at a certain point, and there will be viable organs at a certain point. But that doesn't mean that there is a live human until it is born, because that is when birth starts.
There is
Okay,
brain
well,
activity at a
no,
certain
Donovan,
point in
just
the
don't.
womb.
She's just gonna
No,
get
there
mad.
is no. She's just wrong. There is brain activity at
True.
a certain point in the womb. And
Yeah,
yes,
there
you're
is.
right.
But
When they're
like,
At a
born,
certain point, when the
when they're
organs
born,
are
they are
viable at
birthed. You are
27
correct.
weeks. Yeah.
That is kind of how it works.
yeah.
When you were born, you are
Okay.
birthed.
But again, to address your point of why, like, I don't think that like, let me give you an example. If a brain dead person had like a 60% chance of regaining brain activity, do you think it'd be okay to dismember them?
Dismember them?
So
Yes.
non-essential.
That makes no sense. You don't dismember a baby unless it's a late-term pregnancy.
You can say kill. I just said dismember because it's a method of killing. You can say kill, whatever. Do you think it's okay to kill them?
Most people already have it written if they want to be resuscitated or not in that state.
No,
so
that's
do
not,
what they want.
do
It's
not
their
resuscitate.
body.
Again,
No,
like I
most
mentioned,
people
do not
don't.
resuscitate is completely different than brain death, okay? Brain death, you do not regain cognitive function. But I'm making it analogous to a fetus and pregnancy. If a brain dead person could regain it in, let's just say, 20 weeks, do you think it'd be okay to kill them prematurely?
If a baby was at 20 weeks?
No, that's not my question. If a brain dead person, like you, for example.
Okay, if someone is brain dead, then they're dead, I thought you said. So then they're dead.
Yes.
Why are we still
I
on
said,
this point?
Saint,
I'm so
making
confused.
it analogous to a fetus and pregnancy because a fetus currently doesn't have it, but will have it in the future. Just like how I'm making analogous, the brain dead person currently
but it doesn't have it yet, so it's not murder. If you want to kill a baby late pregnancy when it's already a full viable human being, then it is killing a human being because it's a full viable human being. But when it's
I don't
not,
know what your point
it
is.
has no
what
organs that are
going
to function without a mother, then you can have an abortion.
So
because
you just
it's not
changed your standard,
functioning.
though. You changed your
What are
standard
you
from
talking about?
viability to brain activity. You have to pick one. Is it either? Is it
Viability
both?
is when your body is functioning, your organs are functioning. That means brain
No,
activity. How is that
that's not
so
what
hard
it
to
is.
comprehend?
That's not what it is. The week of viability is when you can survive outside of the mother, outside of the womb.
Yeah, that means your organs are viable and functioning
you
without
can literally
the mother.
you can be in an incubator and have organ
You just want
failure,
to be
still need
right
your
so
organs to
bad.
develop.
Like, damn, girl. Like, oh my
What?
god.
What's the problem?
It's just so funny to me. Like, you guys just argue back and forth, but I literally have made so many points, and that's why it's legal, and that's why you're
That's how
totally
arguing
wrong.
works. It goes
And
back
that's why
and
the
forth.
laws aren't changing.
Hold on.
So
you can think
you
you
can
made
argue all
whatever
you want,
points
but the
you
laws
want.
are not going to change.
You didn't even know that a brain dead person can't regain cognitive function. So,
girl, you're literally arguing something, but the laws are laws, and they're not going to change. So you can stay
You sound
mad,
like a
but
southerner in the.
first of
You sound
all,
like
the
a southerner in the
laws will
1840s.
change most likely. So I don't even
they
know what you're
definitely
talking
won't.
about
But
here.
you can
The
stay
laws
mad about
did change this past year if you paid attention at all. So what's your point?
They literally got passed in one town.
No, not one state. Go look up Oklahoma's anti-abortion legislation. Go look up how Oklahoma literally convicted a woman who drank during pregnancy. There's been instances all throughout the nation.
What does drinking during pregnancy have to do with abortion? That's literally not what we're talking about.
Because her child died. So.
Well, that's her drinking during pregnancy, not getting an abortion.
Yeah,
in a
that's
clinic.
an induced killing.
That would be
so
an induced.
She was still prosecuted under anti-abortion.
No, that's just
legislation in
reckless
Oklahoma.
behavior.
I have a video made about it
drinking, not going
if
into
you
a
want to
clinic
scroll
for an
and
abortion.
find it. But again,
girl,
to
okay,
say that,
so the laws are not
let
going
me
to
ask
change
you a
because
question.
you get mad
Saints,
on a lie.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. I'm sure you're familiar with the Supreme Court. What's the conservative to liberal majority on the Supreme Court? Do you know the ratio?
Is this the point? Because the law is still not changing.
Do you know?
The law is literally still not changing.
Do you know? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Currently, we have 6 Supreme Court justices that are pro-life per se, and 3 that are pro-choice. One, Breyer's actually going to retire, but we'll still have 3. Now we have the Dobbs case. That's Dobbs case that's coming up in May. But what's your point here? You don't think that any abortion legislation is going to change?
There's literally barely any. The only places that have ever changed are places that are heavy right swinging.
There's not true.
Literally
so
like
if Roe v. Wade was to be overturned, that's not true. That's not true. If Roe v. Wade was to be overturned by the 6-3 majority, there's already over 24 states that have trigger laws on the books.
What's your point?
And you can look this up. It's factual.
What's your point?
So.
Donovan, what's your point, boy? You've been in this life.
Even so,
you want to know what my point is?
I don't get what your
you sound
point
like a
is.
southerner from the 1840s that's defending slavery.
You look like a southerner from the 1840s.
The laws
don't
aren't
talk to me,
change.
boy.
Are you saying that because he's black? Don't say that to him because you don't look.
He's white in his profile picture, girl.
That's not
Alex
me, you
Jones.
idiot. Do you not know who Alex Jones is? Are you dumb?
No, I don't. I don't look at old white.
Wait, okay, Saints. Let me get this straight. Saints, Did you just tell my black
Are you
friend
saying that
here?
because he's black? Girl, I'm black.
Saints,
What are you talking
he
about?
did you just tell my black friend that he looks like a southerner from the 1800s?
Yeah. I'm also black. And
That
he has
was
a
a
white profile
microaggression.
picture.
And
That was a little bit of a microaggression.
I can't even see that he's black. Shut up. Like, stop trying to grab at air.
I mean,
I
his
really do
bio
not
has it,
care.
but like, anyways. Now to move on.
Do you think
to
I
the next
look
point.
to see if he's black in his bio?
Well, I thought you would know who Alex Jones was in his profile.
Why would I
picture,
know
at
who Alex
least.
Jones is? I do not look at them.
Okay. Well, I was
I
hoping.
read.
Does he
I
sound?
don't
Wait,
look
hold on.
at
Does he
photos.
sound like a 30 or 40-year-old to you?
you read, Saints? What exactly
Yeah.
do you read? What
Maybe
abortion
books.
philosophy do you read?
Books.
What
What
books?
book have you read about abortion?
Why would I read about abortion in books? I'm literally
Well,
not
you're
a psycho
debating
like you
it.
two. I just know that I mind my
Because there's
business
something
and
I
called
do
just
what they
know
want
my
with their bodies
position,
because I'm not a loser.
and I read things without, like, unlike you two, bro. No.
What are you
do you
talking
read,
about?
bro? What do you mean you read? What do you read?
Books. What do
book?
you
What
want to
book
read?
have you
Like,
read
do you want a
recently?
list
What
of
books do you
books that I
read,
hold on.
Saints?
read? Like,
Forget
why are you
this.
acting?
What book have you read about abortion, anything medically
Nothing
related to
about
abortion?
abortion because I don't need to read about abortion to know
Anything
that
about
people can do what they
pregnancy?
want with
Any
their
books about
bodies.
pregnancy? I can recommend you some.
People can do what they want with their
Okay.
bodies. I don't need to
Any
read
books?
a book about
Okay,
it.
cool. Bodily autonomy. Have you read any books about bodily autonomy? Because I can recommend you a
I don't
couple.
need to read books
Okay,
about
so
these
maybe you
subjects
don't
that are
read.
literal
Maybe you
common
don't read.
knowledge.
Maybe you just
Common knowledge.
hold
You
on.
know,
I'm
there's
gonna-
I didn't know.
there's literally
didn't-
other genres of books than body anatomy. Like, why would I read about
We
that?
didn't
Well,
talk about anatomy. We're
I mean,
talking
you
about
said you
ethics.
read, and you're using this argument, so I figured maybe you
He
would have
asked
read
if
up
I
on the
read.
argument.
He told me to
No,
go
I
read,
did not
so I
ask
said I
that because
read.
you said it.
You
said
should
it.
read.
You go, I read.
You should read on
I
the
don't look
arguments
at
you're using.
pictures. You said
Because
I
why would I
read.
be
I don't
looking
look
at pictures of Alex whoever? Like, why do I go look at pictures of
That's
random
not.
Well, no, you
I
said
thought
I
everybody
public
knew who
read as
figures?
Alex
some sort
Jones
of.
was, but
You
anyways.
were trying to say it like in order to like trying to like flex or something. Like, I actually read. I don't look at pictures like whatever that's supposed to
No,
mean.
I literally just said I don't look at pictures
So
of
you said
random
I
men.
read.
I read.
So I
When I
asked,
read about
what do you
anything in the
read?
news, I read. I don't look at
Because
pictures.
I thought you
Wait,
were
hold on.
implying
Wait,
that you
hold
read
on.
things
Hold
about
on. You read
abortion.
about the news. What justice is retiring, and what's Biden's promise for the new Supreme
I
Court
live in
justice?
Canada. I live in Canada, babe. I
But
live
we're
in
talking
Canada.
about American abortion laws because that's what you
chill
said
out.
earlier.
All right.
That's what you
I'm
said
talking about
earlier.
abortion, period. I'm talking
Wait,
about
but
abortion,
hold
period.
on. You just said, quote, the laws aren't gonna change. Yeah, and I'm
'cause
asking
they're
you a
not.
question about the laws, and this was
I'm
in the
Canadian.
news.
They're not going to change. No matter how mad you get, I'm Canadian. They're not going to
We
change.
But
didn't
no,
say
hold
they
on,
would
wait,
change in
actually,
Canada.
Saints,
We don't even know
you
about
talked
Canada.
about Texas.
Yeah, of
did
course you
not?
don't know about Canada. You're
Hold on.
literally just egotistical.
What?
Saints, wait, Saints, didn't you talk about? Hold on, didn't you talk about Texas earlier?
I said that they passed the abortion law because you said that laws are changing.
So you do know a little bit something about American abortion politics.
A little
but
bit,
you don't
yeah.
know.
The laws, like, what are you
might
trying
know a
to
little,
prove here?
yeah, but you don't know enough. Clearly,
girl, you're trying so hard to eat, but you're not. Like, you're just changing the topic. I've already
Oh
made
my
my points,
God.
and it didn't work.
What
So you can
points
stay
have you
mad
made?
looking like Chicken Little. I have gots to go.
Chicken Little.
All she said is women have the right to control their body. Why? Because women have the right to control their body.
I just asked her what's the ratio of conservative to liberal Supreme
I'm bad
Court
at this.
justices.
If I'm making you upset, I'm
crying.
great at this. I'm doing my job perfectly. The fact that I have everybody in here telling me to get off shows that I'm doing things perfectly.
Well, I would prefer to platform an LGBT person of color, but I guess if the comments don't want to.
For real. But I guess people don't like that.
Yeah. I feel like we're about to get yelled at, but let's do it.
Oh, we're definitely gonna get yelled at.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I personally, or not personally, but I've been, observing this is political, right? Or is it moral? Like, what do you guys think?
It's a combination.
So it would be
It's
political.
ethics.
So I do notice, like, sometimes, like, whenever you guys are gonna have a combination of political or any type of like moral debate, there shouldn't be any personal attacks because that's just feeding
Oh, I
any
agree.
type
We
of.
never make them unless they do first. Most of the time, we love our guests. We love our nice guests.
Yeah, definitely. And even if like people are in, the opposite belief system or, like knowledge system, there shouldn't be any reason to
No,
attack
I
their
agree. And Donovan and
intelligence,
I earlier, before we had that girl, we had another dude on, Isaac, and he's pro-choice, and we're super cool with him because he's just a nice guy. But when people
Mhm.
come on here and literally called me Chicken Little, bruh, like, I don't care.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, some maturity levels are different. My thing, I'm basically looking at views, not necessarily to like argue with anybody, but so there has been a lot of people like myself that have had like pregnancies that were, you couldn't finish the whole pregnancy because there was a defect in the child, and the child had deformities, and the child had health problems, and it was a life death situation between child and mother. So, do you think that it is okay to, I guess, are you guys in the like on the stance of like abortion should be legal in certain cases or completely illegal? Because there can be like life threatening situations where you would have to, like delete the cell.
So yeah, obviously, in most cases of late-term pregnancies and early delivery tends to be safer than an abortion for both the mother and the child. But in the case of if it came down to the mother or the child, Donovan and I both support medically necessary abortions.
Okay, so yeah, you're basically in the middle ground. I personally don't think it should be illegal because like you just never know. Every human is different. Every human goes through different things, and like I heard you guys talk about this thing about like how a mother drank and then the baby died, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's another thing where I've studied actually where they're trying to pass a law if a woman miscarries, that's going to be considered murder.
What law is
Which
this?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
it's not passed, so it's not a
What
law.
bill is
Like I
it?
said, it's not a bill yet. It's being like petitioned pretty much.
Well, yeah, it can still be a bill without it being passed. It can just be like drafted. Do you know who or anything? Because
Definitely.
I've kept up with most of the
So
abortion bills.
try looking into it. I personally like there's just so many things out there, but
What's it called?
if just look up on Google like pretty much anything else. Miscarriage being considered abortion, something like that.
Well,
But
I've heard of the
there's been
idea,
like
but
things like where they're like if
I don't
you
see.
imagine like not having control of like having a miscarriage because you can have so many like problems with your uterus or your hormones or stress or your whole entire life, like anything can lead to a miscarriage, but it shouldn't be considered or up to a person to decide what you do with your body or how you're going to be prosecuted just because you had a miscarriage.
Okay, yeah.
You
So
know?
I looked into this. The only one I think you could be talking about was Georgia's possible new
Yeah.
anti-abortion bill.
And
But
I'm
that
in
one,
Georgia
it
too, so.
specifically says induced miscarriage, not natural miscarriage.
So induced as in what are you seeing
As
there?
in like basically a self-abortion. So
self-abortion. Okay. So induced miscarriage, that's honestly like throughout the whole entire thing, like you said, you guys do agree that it should, as long as it doesn't matter as long. I personally think, as a woman, it's your uterus. No man, the lawmakers are men, okay? They don't have uteruses. They shouldn't have the right to decide what we do.
oh
At
Lord.
I
all.
mean, there's a lot of like pro-life.
I mean, do they go through
lawmakers.
menstrual cycles from the
But
beginning
it
of 9
doesn't matter though,
years
because
old
here's
to
the
it
thing.
should matter. You know why?
Why?
There will be men. There will
Because
be men. Like if
they don't.
hold on, Strawberry. if there will be men that pass pro-choice legislation that you favor, and in fact, abortion is literally only legal because of men, and there will be women who pass pro-life legislation. So what's
and not to like discard, like be anti-men or anything, or anti-women or whatever, but I just think that it would be more like I would have way more respect and understanding, and if they provided me with more fact, literally scientific fact from a woman, because a woman can only tell you what a woman feels. A man cannot tell you, oh yeah, you have menstrual cycles, and periods and miscarriages, and like they can't tell you anything personal about that, so why should they be able to decide what you should do with your body? Because the
Because
majority is that's making what?
This
Well,
is
I
an
mean,
ethics issue.
yeah, it's a moral question, but even so, I think that would you rather have a man make like pro-choice legislation or a woman make pro-life legislation?
I would rather have a woman decide, like, hey, pro-life, because a woman
That's
knows
interesting
what.
then. Because did you know by that logic we would overturn Roe?
And what is Roe?
Roe
Roe
v.
v.
Wade.
Wade.
Okay. Elaborate, so I have more
So
of an
Roe v. Wade
understanding.
was passed by all men.
Okay. And what from your perspective as a woman, right? How would you feel, and how would not only just feel, but for your children, or your grandchildren that are females, how would you feel if a man made a decision for them and they had no control
If that
over their
decision
own
was
bodies?
if that decision was passing anti-abortion legislation, I would have no problem with it.
What's wrong with
Okay.
telling other people they can't kill people?
Because
I'm
it's
confused.
as a male, you cannot
So
carry
because
a
I'm a
child for
man,
9
I can't
months.
tell people that they're not allowed to kill people because I don't have a
It's
uterus. I can't
so it's not
establish
so
logic that
I
outlines
noticed that you
ethics.
do like I noticed that you do use I'm not allowed to tell people that they can't kill people. It at this point it's just more of like put yourself into okay, the scenario. Say I go up to you and you're the doctor, and I'm like, hi, so my kid, my child, or my fetus that's growing inside me is literally physically killing me. I need to get an abortion. And you're going to be like, no, because that's killing somebody. Why do you
Well,
get to
if he was
decide?
a doctor, I would assume he would look into the reason why, like if it was an ectopic pregnancy, or I would assume he would perform an ultrasound or do something to justify that.
Okay. So, like I said, I feel like it's just up. I don't feel, I know that it's up to women what they decide to do with their own uterus, their
Okay,
own
well, if you hold that
bodies.
What
position,
about
that's fine. But would you then, I just want to clarify, you're in favor of overturning Roe v. Wade then because it was passed by all men and not a single woman sat on the Supreme Court at that time?
One thing is, I cannot wait till a woman makes the decisions.
I mean,
The
we do.
reason
At
why I
least we
say
have
that,
at least one now.
are you
So,
going to answer
yeah,
her question?
but
are you in favor of
it's
overturning Roe v. Wade, or at least challenging it?
I can't really decide on that because I'm not
Why
I don't know
not?
much about it.
But it
But
was all men. I promise you.
Oh
Like
wait,
I'm not
no,
lying.
she's
All
saying
the
she doesn't know
chat
what
will
Roe v.
agree with
Wade
me.
is.
I'm not making this up.
and
Roe
there's
v. Wade
no
was passed by
reason
all
to
men.
attack anybody about that,
She doesn't know
I'll
what
learn
Roe v.
more
Wade
about
is,
it.
Saanvi.
But
Oh,
this
okay.
is
Roe v. Wade was the Supreme Court case that established that people have a right to abortion in the United States up until 24 weeks, and it was passed by like unanimously men.
and so
More
did the man
specifically, that
decide
states
that?
can't outlaw it.
Yes,
Yeah.
all
Okay.
the people that decided that were men.
So it was men, right? Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty much my point. A little bit from I'm indigenous Apache Navajo. My grandmother was a chief in our tribe. As a woman, an Apache woman, in we were involved in votes, and we the Apache women would go to war with the Apache men. It was equal.
Oh.
There was no letting a woman decide. It was it that's what it just was, you know? You're a human being. Like, you decide what you do with yourself pretty much at this point. I don't think that anybody, like I said, should ever decide what you do with your own body, ever. You make that decision.
Oh,
Whether
really?
it's abortion, whether it's being sick, whether you, I mean, like, whether you have cancer, whether you have any type of health issue, any type of mental, you know, disorder, you are the one that decides to make the decision to better your health and better your life. And you know, it's the honest truth. Because I mean, like, what if the roles were reversed, Donovan, and somebody
What if they
said
were?
that? So my question is, so if the roles were reversed and you were able to get pregnant, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you didn't want the child, and you had a health issue, what would you do?
Okay, so we've already established like a health issue. It depends on how serious it is. But if the mother's life, or in this case, my life, were in danger, then an abortion would be justified, just as it is for we believe, right, for a mother, right, in the current how it actually works.
Okay.
We think that if you were to get pregnant and the child were to threaten your life, you getting an abortion would be an act of self-defense, and you thus wouldn't be violating its rights, right? But my
So
point is that
so wait, my
wait 1 second.
question.
You've been talking for a while, so I just wanted to say this one thing because I wanted to address your one point, which is that
Mhm,
you cannot tell anybody what to do with their body under any circumstance. Does that mean
mhm.
you do not believe in laws, like, at all?
So is abortion illegal yet?
No, it isn't. But I'm asking you,
Okay,
do you believe
exactly.
in laws,
So
period? Like any
if
laws?
it doesn't matter if I believe in laws or not. The
Yes,
whole
it does.
point is, I mean, if
Like,
you
do you
don't
believe in
follow the
murder
law,
laws?
you're going to go to jail, end up in different places, pretty
No, my
much.
point
But
is, do you support
is
like murder
abortion
laws?
legal though? Is
Okay,
abortion legal? Is abortion
strawberry,
legal? Answer that.
strawberries. No, it is
Where
not,
in the
and that's
world are you talking
Exactly.
about?
That's what
okay.
I'm saying.
Strawberries,
He's trying
strawberries.
to ask me, like, he's trying to derive from the actual point. The actual point
No, I'm not at all. If you
is
let me get there and you answer
abortion
my question
illegal?
instead of
Yeah.
dodging, then we can actually make some progress.
I
But
think
you
you are
continuously
the
are
one
dodging
that's
my
dodging,
question.
but
What have I dodged? I've answered your question 3 times. You haven't answered my question once.
what is your
Please tell
question?
me.
Your
My
question is
question
about
is,
murder.
do you support murder laws? Yes or no?
Murder laws as in, like,
Like,
um
can I go kill some? Do you think it should be illegal for me to go kill Saanvi right now?
do I think it should be illegal to kill?
Illegal for me to go kill Saanvi right
I
now.
mean, it isn't killing somebody, like, illegal already?
I'm asking if you believe it should be, not if it is.
That's a belief. That's not a
Yes,
fact.
that's kind
That's
of
not any of.
that's what this whole discussion is about. It's about our
It's
opinions
about belief.
on ethics. This is not about what currently is.
So
We
it's
are
not
making
about logic.
prescriptions. We are
So
no,
it's
this is
about
what
belief.
logic is.
So it's like
Do you know
about
what
kind of like
logic is?
Santa Claus, believing in Santa Claus.
Do you
I'm
know
just
what
putting in
logic is,
perspective.
strawberries?
Oh,
No,
I
I don't
definitely
think
know
you
what
understand
logic
what
is,
logic is.
but what is
What is
logic versus
logic?
belief? What is
Please tell
logic
me what
versus
logic
belief?
is,
You
strawberries.
you
Please tell
you
me what logic
identify
is.
it. You identify
Oh,
the definition.
logic is the rules of making inferences. That is what logic is. It is the rules of inferences.
So logic, okay, and then logic and fact.
So
What is that?
logic is when we have premises and then we
Mhm.
come to certain conclusions from those premises, and it is the rules by which we can derive those conclusions. That's exactly what
Okay.
logic is,
So
right?
do you
So
believe as a
you are not
okay,
using logic.
if we're talking about beliefs, do you believe as a man you have any right to choose what a woman does with her body? Do
He
Choose
you
what
doesn't
have
a
have the
any
woman
right to
does
right
with her
speak on
body.
abortion.
he has
Do
the right to speak, but he doesn't have the
to
right to even, like, have an
to
opinion
choose.
towards it. He's not a
He
I
woman.
he
mean,
has a right to legislate, yeah. And I think it's weird. Like, I think if you're pro-choice, but if you say you would rather have women enact pro-life legislation than men enact pro-choice legislation, I don't even know if you can say you're pro-choice. At that point, you're just
Well,
anti-men.
I never said that I would agree if I would agree if a woman was like, hey, pro-choice. If a woman was to decide, I don't think, honestly, I do not think the majority of women are pro-choice.
Okay,
There's
but that's not my
majority
point.
of women
Strawberry,
that are
Strawberry, I
pro-choice.
asked you specifically, would you rather have a group of, let's just say, 9 women decide on pro-life legislation? Would you rather have a group of 9 men decide on pro-choice legislation?
As long as the woman is involved in anything, I think that there would be more, the law would make more sense.
Okay,
If the
so in
woman was
that
in
case, you would
control
rather
instead of the
support the
man,
women passing the
definitely.
pro-life legislation,
Because,
correct?
like, I mean, based on fact and based
Bro,
on
yes or no? Like, would
biology,
you rather have the women pass the pro-life legislation or the men pass the pro-choice legislation?
heck yeah, I would. It's a woman. She's
You
making
would rather
choices
have
for other
women
women.
pass
What?
pro-life
Who
legislation.
She's
cares?
making choices for other women. Exactly. He's saying he
Okay,
doesn't care.
so when
No, I
Amy
said
Coney
who
Barrett
He
cares.
votes
says he
for,
doesn't care
I
because
said
he doesn't.
who.
He's not a woman. So
I
like,
said who, not I
okay,
don't. I
well
said
that's
who.
just like, that's really interesting then, because Strawberry, you would literally rather, like, I know you're pro-choice, so you would literally rather take away what people are doing with their bodies as long as it's women doing it and not men, right?
I mean, I'm pretty sure women have the they understand their bodies more because they got a uterus.
Sure,
You
but
know,
like
so
I said, if women were to pass to you legislation controlling other women, you would prefer that over men passing freedom?
I don't think men should make choices for women.
Okay, well, that's that.
That's
I
the
mean,
true, honest answer. Like, that's, if you want an answer, that's what I'm gonna give you.
You
Men
can't
should
kill
not
people.
decide for women
You
ever.
can't kill
Wow.
people equals making choices for them.
But that's a belief.
That's
So
interesting.
Strawberry, let me ask
Oh,
you this.
really? Everything is like almost everything is a belief. What do you mean?
So, what fact do you have backing yourself up? Like, do you understand what a period feels like? Do you understand what childbirth feels like? Do you understand what cramps
Wait,
are?
wait,
No,
wait,
you
wait,
do
wait, wait,
not.
wait, wait. Hold
Do you
on 1 second.
understand any of
You're
that?
going a little too
Do
fast,
you?
Strawberry. We need to slow down. Wait, hold up. Slow
Oh,
down.
I'm definitely not
right?
going to. They're simple
We need to
questions,
slow
just like
down. Let's
yours.
take it step by step. We need to go
All
step
right.
by
Do you know
step.
what a period is? Have you ever
I know
felt
what a period is.
Well,
I've
here's the
not
thing.
felt it.
Have
I
you
know
ever
what it
felt
is.
what a period's
You
like?
can know what a period is without ever feeling it. Like, you were talking to me this whole time. You would have never known if I could never feel a period. You would never know, but you were still willing to have a conversation with me. Why? Is it
Yeah,
just because you
because
assume that?
you're. I mean, what do you identify as? I'm
I mean,
sorry
but
if I
it
didn't
doesn't
say
matter. I mean,
anything.
you can identify as a man and have a period. How do you know that Donovan doesn't? But that's not even the point. The point is,
Because what
just
does
because
Donovan identify as? What do
well,
you
just
identify as,
I'm
Donovan?
well,
okay. Wait,
Donovan
hold
goes
up.
any pronouns, but
Because I'm
if you
LGBTQ, like I'm pro-choice, pro-LGBT, like I'm
Yo,
by myself. So like,
Donovan's cool with any pronouns, but the
yo.
point is,
Okay.
just because you haven't like felt something doesn't mean that you
So
can't speak on it.
so scientifically, okay, even if you were to like be on estrogen or like understand a period, like, or have any, this has nothing to do with like the difference between if a male can have a child or not. This is about, have you as a man that does not have a uterus, that is not able to like feel the true pain of like childbirth or cramps, like I'm going in
Well, yeah,
circles
but
here.
Strawberry, like I said, just because you can't feel the pain of it doesn't mean that you don't get an opinion on it. Because there's women with conditional insensitivity to pain that won't feel as much pain. Like, does that mean they don't get to have a say on childbirth? No, of course they do. Like, anybody can have a say on it because it's a question of morality and ethics. Is
So
abortion
morality,
moral
exactly.
or immoral?
Exactly. And I see, like, this
And
is
anybody
this is
can.
what I'm trying to say is more, it's a difference between belief. Everybody has their own beliefs, everybody has their own morals, but they shouldn't force their beliefs down people's throats, because everybody has different
Wait,
beliefs and
is that not what you're
religion and
doing?
all that. I'm not forcing anything. I'm asking you guys questions. I'm putting it in perspective, kind of. Nobody's shoving
Okay,
anything down your throat. You know
for
what I mean?
somebody talking about logic, you seem to misunderstand what logic is, because to
Is
say
that
that
what you're still
somebody
stuck on?
to say that somebody
You're
can't
still
have an
stuck on the
opinion
logic part,
to say
but you didn't
somebody
hear
can't have an
anything
opinion
else.
on something because they are not a
But you
certain
didn't hear
sex
anything
is
else.
illogical in and of itself.
You're not hearing anything else that I put together besides the logic
I mean,
part.
I
Do you want to
have
prove
heard.
yourself right? Are you
I'm just
listening to
addressing something
understand
So,
you
or just?
so
said.
Strawberry, here's the thing. If
But my whole thing
Donovan,
is,
if
is
I'll let
he?
him speak on this. I'm not going to do it, but if Donovan were to provide you studies, facts about pregnancy, you know, abortions, et cetera, would you be willing to
He
take
could
more
study it, but he'll never experience it.
I didn't
That's the
say I
thing.
study it. She said
But she
give
she
you
just
doesn't
said
study
studies
it.
about it?
okay. So basically, just proof with facts, right?
Right,
Like
because Strawberry, we all
enlighten.
agree that facts are far more important than just like feeling it. Like I can fully and confidently say like men that work in the field of like OBGYN and biology would probably know more than the average woman that experiences it.
And that's my whole point, though, is he will not experience the pain
But
between
he can
giving
still
childbirth.
know. He can
He's
still
not going to
know.
push. He
And
could
that
know it.
knowledge, that
He could know
knowledge
it,
means
but he'll
far
never
more than
experience it.
just feelings.
Just for example, like, will he ever know what my tribe went through during the Trail of Tears?
No, but
He
just like
knows
you
of
wouldn't
it,
know what
but he
Donovan's
never.
went through being black with police brutality. That's fine. But guess what? We're both still allowed to speak on it and say police brutality is wrong and the Trail of Tears was wrong.
Yeah, that's wrong. That's literally and like that.
Yeah,
That
wait,
was
let
like
me
ripped
ask
of
you
a
this.
whole
So
genocide. Like, but that's
Donovan,
genocide versus
Wait,
that's
but that's a
genocide
belief,
versus like
though. If you
that's
think the
not a
Trail of Tears
belief.
was wrong, that's a
There's
belief.
how is that
That's
so?
moral. That's ethics. That's
How
a
is that a
belief.
belief that the Trail of Tears was wrong? Genocide of
Because you're
people.
asserting an opinion about something. That is a belief.
Okay, and we're talking about beliefs here, aren't we?
Were you not the one
Exactly.
that's saying? Were you not the one contesting our position, saying that we were just giving beliefs and not facts? Did you not just say that at least
Yeah,
10 minutes ago?
that's exactly what I'm trying to tell you. Is it's just
And now
more.
you're saying, aren't we talking about beliefs? Like you just
Yeah, are
contradicted
you?
yourself.
Did I contradict
Absolutely,
myself?
that's what
I
I've
don't
been
think I
trying to get
contradicted
across to you
myself.
for the last
Strawberry,
20
let me
minutes.
ask you this. Even though you will probably likely never experience police brutality in the same regard that Donovan did, can
Oh
you
no,
still
I
say
have.
no in the same regard, like based off being African American? Can you still say that that was wrong? Yes or no? Can you have an opinion on that? And can you want to enforce
It's not an
that?
opinion, it's a fact.
Okay, cool, great.
Statistically, it's a fact.
Yes,
It's not a
I
belief.
agree with you.
It's not a belief at all. It's not a
Okay,
belief that
cool.
police brutality is mostly directed towards African American and Black.
I totally
That
agree
is a
with you.
fact.
Oh,
That is
I'm
a
not disputing
statistic.
this. I'm not disputing this. But can you still want to legislate things against it, like police reform, for example?
Repeat that. I'm
Can
trying
you
to.
still want to legislate things against it?
So I mean,
even though it won't affect you
because
in the
it's a
same regard.
because if you know that it's morally wrong.
Yes or no?
There.
But hey,
I mean, I can't
Strawberry,
answer
you said
yes or
it
no
for me.
because there's
If
just
you know that it's morally wrong, you should speak on it, irrespective of your
because that's a whole
identity.
different thing
Exactly.
besides trying to decide what a woman does with her own body.
So
I mean,
okay, well, you
imagine.
said it
Let me
for
put
me.
it in this
You said
perspective for
morally
you.
wrong. So clearly, if we're arguing this position, we believe that abortion is morally wrong. And
I don't
regardless of
believe
your
that.
genitalia, regardless of your sex,
I don't believe
anybody
that
should be
though.
able to speak on
It's
it.
not a belief. It's not. It's honestly like a fact that abortion shouldn't be illegal because there are people that can literally die from childbirth.
Okay,
Can
that's first
literally.
of all, that's not a fact. Whenever you say shouldn't,
It is
that's
a
should
fact.
not. And when you said should, that's an ought claim, so that's not a fact.
It's a fact that there are people that die from childbirth.
Wait, hold on. You can say that's a fact, and nobody's denying that, but you said it's a fact that abortion should not be illegal. That's not a fact. Just like
No,
how this
it
isn't a
is.
fact.
It should. It is a fact, because there are
It's a fact.
How is that a
different things
fact?
that
Wait.
can happen.
Where did you look in reality? What did you perceive in reality that showed you that?
What did you perceive
directly?
in reality?
I
The
didn't. I'm not
nature
claiming
of
for my position
rights
to be
and
fact.
persons.
See, like, I'm
But
able
no,
to
my
have this
position derives from
conversation with
reality.
the
But
woman,
my position
like,
is not
in a
reality
very
itself, which is
calm,
what a fact
collective
is.
conversation. But when it comes to somebody that doesn't have a uterus and wants to make a decision for
I know
women
you
and
don't
has
like
an
to listen
opinion.
to like actual arguments, so you like to
It's not
redirect
it's an
it to
argument,
me as a
exactly. It's not a
person.
fact.
So
It's not fact. It's
instead,
not fact.
I'd like for you to logically address my argument rather than, attacking my
I'm not going
person,
to
which
address
is
an
called an
argument
ad
that
hominem, in
has
case you didn't know.
I'm not going to
So,
address an argument that has nothing to do with
Strawberry,
fact.
I'm gonna wrap this up with you. I'll be on for like 5 more minutes. If you'd rather speak to me for the remainder of the time, that's fine.
Well, this political quote unquote debate was, pretty enlightening in many ways. But to wrap it up, I just want you guys to definitely assert, instead of personally attacking or feeling personally attacked, to actually have a conversation, learn and listen to understand, not listen to react or listen to respond.
No,
Listen to
I totally agree. I most of the time, I can't speak for them, but I tend to listen to people very carefully. I just don't think that your positions are very consistent, because how are you going to say you're pro-choice and then you would rather have pro-life legislation so long as it's by women rather than
I've
pro-choice
given you many
legislation?
facts and many like proof on literally why
Okay, and just to
abortion should
clarify this,
not.
Strawberry, you want to at least overturn or challenge Roe v. Wade, right?
I think it's pro-choice all the way, no
Do
matter
you want to
who.
overturn or at least challenge
And I
Roe
don't
v.
believe
Wade?
that a man should make a decision for a
Okay,
woman.
perfect. So do you want to overturn or at least challenge Roe v. Wade?
A woman should make her own
Yes or
decision
no? It's
with
a
her own
yes or no
body.
question.
A woman should make her own decision
Sure.
for her
Yes
own
or no?
body. A
Yes or
man
no?
should never
Do
make
you, Strawberry,
a
I don't know your
decision.
name, do you, Strawberry, think that we should overturn or at least
It's not what I
challenge Roe v.
think.
Wade?
Is I know that a woman should make her own
Okay,
decisions for
do
her
you
own
know,
body
based
and have her
on
own
your own
opinion.
perception, that we should overturn or challenge
On
Roe
my
v.
own
Wade?
perception and a lot of other women, I know for a fact
Yes or
that
no?
abortion should be legal.
Bro, if you're not going to answer the question, I can't have a
bro, just kick her.
conversation.
This is dumb as hell.
Bro, I
Cute.
repeated it like 7 times. Okay. I'm just going to get off this live now. But thank you guys for joining.
You're just mad
If you're
because
pro-life,
Strawberry
join the
wiped the floor with
Discord
you.
in my bio. If you want to have a debate with me, not publicly, you can join my Discord. Yeah.
By the way, I love it when you guys tell her to kick me. That shows me that I'm doing my job correctly.
Yeah, you guys, I'm not gonna say everything. Most of the stuff I learned on like argumentation, and how to debate abortion was probably from Donovan. So, yeah.
And by the way, the reason her Instagram is linked in my bio is because this used to be her account. So.
Oh yeah, you can unlink it if you want.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. I need to look at that.
I'll do it for you.
All right.